Imagine a city where cars have no drivers, where intersections flow seamlessly without the need for stoplights, and where traffic jams are nothing more than a memory. In this world, every vehicle moves with mechanical precision, guided by an invisible intelligence that orchestrates the streets like a conductor leading a symphony. Pedestrians cross without fear. Delivery trucks navigate without hesitation. And congestion, once the defining struggle of urban life, simply ceases to exist. It sounds like the perfect city, an urban utopia engineered for efficiency, where safety and speed are no longer at odds. The dream of self-driving cities is no longer a question of if, but when. Autonomous technology is evolving at an exponential pace, and governments and corporations alike are racing to design infrastructures built around it. Traffic signals, parking lots, even personal car ownership. These could all become relics, replaced by an AI-driven ecosystem that prioritizes movement above all else. Yet, as with every leap forward in human innovation, there is an underlying cost, one that isn't immediately visible. A city optimized for efficiency operates on rules set by those who design it. If artificial intelligence dictates how we move, then are we still the ones in control? When every journey is calculated by an algorithm, every street engineered for automation, where does personal choice fit into the equation? History has shown us that progress is rarely neutral. The introduction of the automobile reshaped entire societies, creating industries, redefining personal freedom, and altering the structure of cities themselves. But it also gave rise to new challenges: congestion, pollution, and dependence on fossil fuels. Could self-driving cities be the next great revolution, offering a new age of urban life? Or will they subtly reshape not only how we travel, but how we live, how we interact, where we go, and ultimately, what choices we are left with? If history teaches us that progress often comes at a cost, what price might we pay? A city without traffic lights, a skyline where vehicles glide effortlessly through intersections, orchestrated by an intelligence that never tires. Every street, every movement, calculated for maximum efficiency. This is the promise of self-driving cities, a vision where technology erases human error, eliminates congestion, and redefines the very fabric of urban life. At the heart of this transformation lies a simple idea. Automation doesn't just improve transportation, it perfects it. By removing unpredictability, self-driving systems can eliminate delays, optimize fuel efficiency, and dramatically reduce accidents. No more reckless drivers, no distracted pedestrians, no unexpected slowdowns. A world where traffic fatalities, a leading cause of death globally, could be reduced to near zero. But efficiency extends far beyond the roads. If vehicles no longer need parking, cities can reclaim vast amounts of space once dedicated to garages and lots. Streets could narrow, making room for green spaces, pedestrian walkways, and new housing. Fewer cars mean fewer emissions, and AI-driven logistics could further reduce the environmental footprint of urban centers. The result: cleaner air, less noise pollution, and a fundamentally different relationship between people and the spaces they inhabit. Then there's the economic impact. Self-driving technology promises a world where commuting is no longer a burden, but an opportunity, an uninterrupted stretch of time where passengers can work, relax, or socialize instead of focusing on the road. For businesses, autonomous logistics and delivery networks could redefine supply chains, slashing costs and making goods more accessible than ever. But there's a question hidden beneath this vision, one that grows louder as the technology advances. A city designed for efficiency must, by definition, make choices about how people move. When an algorithm determines the fastest, safest, or most sustainable route, does it also determine where we can and cannot go? If our cities are optimized for movement, what happens when efficiency takes precedence over individual choice? A city designed for efficiency must, by definition, make choices. Choices about who moves, where, and when. In a world of self-driving infrastructure, those choices are no longer made by individuals, but by algorithms. And algorithms, for all their precision, are not neutral. Every route is calculated for optimal flow, every movement analyzed for efficiency. But in a system where convenience is dictated by data, what happens to personal agency? If an AI determines that a particular route is faster, does it also have the power to deny alternatives? Will certain areas become inaccessible? Then there's the issue of data. A self-driving city is a city under constant observation. Every vehicle is a sensor, every passenger a data point feeding into a vast network of artificial intelligence. Patterns of movement become not just predictable, but controllable. Who owns this data? Who decides how it is used? A system designed to optimize mobility could just as easily be used to restrict it, subtly guiding populations towards certain behaviors, certain destinations, even certain ways of life. And there's another consequence, one hidden beneath the surface. The automation of urban mobility doesn't just reshape movement, it reshapes the economy. Millions of jobs depend on transportation, from taxi drivers to truckers to delivery workers. What happens when an industry built on human labor is no longer necessary? The promise of progress has always been tied to prosperity. But history has shown that technological revolutions often leave entire workforces behind. The vision of self-driving cities is built on the idea of a seamless, effortless future. But if that future is dictated by unseen algorithms, optimized for efficiency above all else, are we gaining freedom or quietly surrendering it? For centuries, cities have been shaped by the movement of people, where they live, how they travel, and the choices they make. Streets were designed around human behavior, evolving naturally over time. But in a self-driving city, movement is no longer the result of millions of individual decisions, but of a centralized intelligence that dictates the most efficient path for all. Efficiency is a powerful force, but it has a tendency to erase complexity. In a city built around autonomous transportation, what happens to the unexpected? The detours, the spontaneous decisions, the personal preferences that make a city feel alive? When every journey is optimized, is there still room for exploration, for chance encounters, for the unpredictable nature of human movement? And then there's the deeper question. If an AI-controlled transportation network determines the most logical way to move, does it also determine who gets to move at all? If a city prioritizes self-driving vehicles, does that mean those who prefer or need to walk, bike, or use traditional public transport are left behind? Will access to mobility become another form of digital privilege, where those who conform to the system are rewarded with convenience, while others are subtly excluded? There is also the question of control. The more dependent a city becomes on automation, the more vulnerable it is to external forces. A single malfunction, a cyber attack, or a sudden regulatory shift could bring an entire system to a halt. Unlike traditional infrastructure, which allows for human intervention, a fully automated city hands over its lifeblood, its ability to function, to an intelligence that most people will never truly understand. Progress has always been about trade-offs. Every technological advancement reshapes society. The question is no longer whether self-driving cities are coming. They are. The question is, who gets to decide how they evolve? And in the pursuit of efficiency, what parts of human experience are we willing to sacrifice? A future where cities drive themselves is no longer a question of possibility. It is a question of inevitability. The systems are being built, the networks are forming, and the first pieces of the puzzle are already in place. But as we move toward this transformation, a final question lingers. What kind of cities do we want to create? A self-driving city could be a utopia, where accidents are obsolete, pollution is dramatically reduced, and wasted time is reclaimed. A place where movement is effortless. Roads are safer. Urban spaces are repurposed for human connection. But it could also become something else. An environment where personal choice is quietly overruled by invisible systems, where data replaces freedom, and where the efficiency of the whole outweighs the needs of the individual. Perhaps the answer lies not in rejecting automation, but in shaping it. Who programs the algorithms? Who decides what values guide them? Will these cities be designed to enhance human experience, or simply to streamline it? The technology itself is neither good nor bad. It is the intent behind it that matters. And so the real challenge isn't just building self-driving cities. It's ensuring that they remain human cities. Because in the pursuit of progress, one truth remains unchanged. The future of movement is not just about where we go. It's about who gets to decide the journey. This video has come to an end, but the discovery continues. Check out more content on the channel and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thank you for watching.